I would not have on my own, as a young man, I would not on my own have said, oh, I am ready for marriage as early as it came, because of the external things that were not around, that were not present. Say like, okay, I didn't have the kind of house people would have wanted me to have. I didn't have the kind of car. I'm not driving a car yet, and all of that. And I think that's what usually is the primary thing for young people today. When the looking outward.
Yeah.
So, what would you say, for me personally? Now, we've spoken about two people and we've said that they should agree. But for an individual, especially from the perspective of a man, what is it that I can say? When can I say, yeah, I am ready for this, for a marital life?
See, it has nothing to do with externalities. All right? We don't apply scriptures properly. You know what the Bible says? All right? It says, man looks at the outward, but God looks at the heart. All right? I know we try to say, we've tried, and I've also taught, and I also teach that, all right, that for as long as you are going to be dealing with men, you must look at the appearance, and I'm very big about that, all right. But if you must be in tandem with God, then you must not be a person who lives by appearances. All right, that's the truth. If you want to be in tandem with men, you must look at appearances. For as long as it is with men you want to be in tandem with, please look at appearances. But if you want to be in tandem, if you want to be in sync with God, look beyond the appearances. I always say to people in my coaching program this way: there is more to things that meets the eye. More. All right? See, there is more to life than what you see. All right? So my goal is for anybody who, as a man, your journey should first and foremost be inward. All right? Not necessarily on the pecs of things you have. And I'm going to give you two stories. One is the story of Victor. He married a friend of mine, which we went to school together. All right? Victor had a high-paying job, telecoms company. All right? He had a high-paying job with a telecoms company when he married my friend. All right? And then she said, shortly after their wedding, it was a good wedding. I went for the wedding. I was fully there, right? It was such a good wedding. Colorful, you could see money was in display, right? They had a very good wedding. And then, bam, what happened to him was, all of a sudden, he lost the job. All right? And my friend said to me a year or so later, when I met them, or maybe a year or two after, or a few years after, and she says to me, you know the truth? If, for instance, I did not like or did not love Victor when I married him, all right, I would have left. This thing would have ended long ago, because they went through hell and high water. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's a situation. All right. So so what she said was that she was in the marriage for something that was beyond the obvious. If she was in the marriage for the obvious, all right, she would have left. Good. Second thing. All right, maybe I'll tell it third. Okay. Then second is my story. All right. So I met my wife, for instance, nothing. Do you understand? I was in between jobs. I was living out of the boot of my friend's car, and I slept anywhere that I found available, for the night. That was how I was living. So my clothes were in the boot, and anywhere I could find available to sleep was where I slept. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So that was it, and that was at the point at which I met my wife. All right. One of the reasons that I decided I was going to marry her was that I discovered that she was not judging me by the seeing of the eyes. Guys, I wasn't good to see. Even me myself, I was afraid of my future. But she looked at me and said, "I'm not scared of your future." After having heard some of the things that were not good, that were the kind of situation I was in. And then she looks at me and says, I'm not scared of my future. And I'm going like, how? And you don't even know anything. She didn't even know anything about me, in the sense. All she knew was the present situation I was in. All right, she didn't even know where I was coming from, and what I was going to. So you get the point.
Yes, sir.
Then when I now gave her a copy of my life, my future focus, of my life, and then and she goes more excited, and I'm like, who is this kind of girl? All right, and you know what? The very interesting thing, she said yes to me. The day she said yes to me, she said yes to me on a Sunday. By the Wednesday, I got my job with the international organization I worked for. All right, and see, that was not enough. So I got my job with the day she. After we came back from honeymoon, my first day resuming to work, I got a promotion. I was moved to another different office in a different region with a bigger capacity and portfolio. That was what happened to me. I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying.
Yes,
so at the end of the day, it came. Imagine if, for instance, I was waiting for those things to come. They didn't come. All right, and she was earning a lot more than me at the time. But you see, the truth is that everything just flipped. All right, so and then imagine right now. I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the point remains that you cannot look at things on the external, whether you're a guy or a girl. You cannot look at things on the external. So you can't say, I want to marry because right now I have a high-paying job. You can lose the job. In fact, if it's a business, you can lose all the money. All right? Things happen. All right? Things can happen on the earth. All right? And for somebody who can sleep today, a broke person, and he can wake up tomorrow a millionaire. That was what happened. All right? This was me who moved up from just earning nothing to earning in 6 digits, and every of my trips was funded and I was paid for it, and I had a lot of desirable and beneficial things from the job. This was me. If she imagine she had married me then, she had not married me because of that. One thing she consistently says to me is that if she had not married me, she would have been jealous of whoever it would have been. Of course.
Yeah.
And the truth is that it's obvious. All right, there are certain other people. Let's not go. All right. All right. So like I also say to Shehu, because I've asked Shehu personally, and I knew this was going to come. All right. I'll ask Shehu personally somehow, and you must put this thing inside. You must put this part inside. All right. Because I've asked Shehu personally, at some point in time to reach out. All right. And the truth is, even me myself, all right, if not that I know what I am saying to you right now, even me myself, I should have been afraid for him, all right, because he came and he's working with me and he says he doesn't want to take a salary one, and he doesn't want to take a salary. This is what he wants to do, and he's been here, and I'm not the easiest of bosses at all. I'm not the easiest of bosses to be able to work with, not because I'm cruel, but I just expect that you should get better at whatever you're doing or on whatever you're doing. So in that situation, some people he knew before is asking them, oh, can you, and to marry him. And then I know of 2 sets, people who looked at him on the basis of who he was. And then they are like, guy, you're way far. All right? You're way far. But you see, the story is different. In 2 weeks' time from now, you're getting married to to a more beautiful person with a more pleasant spirit. It's amazing. I've not met Ibukun, but I like her more than I like Shehu, who I have met for the last 3 years, who has been with me for the last 3 years. You see, because of a pleasant spirit. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
This was a girl who sent him money. She wasn't dating him. She sent money to another of my staff to buy him fish, and and brought fish for him. I'm wondering who does that kind of thing. You understand? Mm-hmm. And sends money for a cake for him all of the way. And she was just a girl. She saw something in him that is beyond what it is obvious. And you see, the truth is, for me, when I saw that thing to him, I said to him, Oga, you better go and catch this girl.
Follow favor.
Follow it. Follow the favor. All right, so I'm saying to you that some of you are just stupid. You are looking at yourself. You have favor all around you right now, and you are looking at yourself and saying you need something else. Favor will pass you. Favor is like a spell, because the Bible says, it says, and I will arise and have mercy upon Zion, for it is the time to favor her. So it means that favor has a time. Yea, the set time is come. Some of you have lost favor. You've lost favor because the truth is that favor came to you and you were looking at appearances,
wow,
and you didn't cash into it,
wow,
I would have lost favor Mary Linda.
Wow. Wow.
If I did not cash into it.
Favor Ibuku.
You understand? So I would have lost it. And all of the things that my life has become, I can tell you, my life within the last 10 years has moved 1,000 times from where it is. And I don't need aid, I don't need support, because God has helped me. I say to her, she's my breakthrough. All right, some of you are looking for breakthrough. Not because she had so much money from where she was, just because what you basically need is a belief, not in appearances, not in those things. All of those things can disappear in one day, in one moment. All of those things can appear in one moment. So the main thing to do as a young man who wants to get married is shun appearances. And when you shun appearances, all right, you may not be in tandem with men initially, but you would be in tandem with God. And like they would always say, one with God is majority, and human beings always follow the majority.
Yeah.
All right. So people look at me now and, oh, we like you, GB. We like you, GB. Oh, somebody said you bolted out on me. I said, you had the opportunity before Mary Linda. All right. In fact, you had me. All right. But you said you looked at me and said, Kini, what's this one? Omo Boruku. You understand? And you. And that's how it is today. And you get what I mean? So The truth is, don't go by appearances. Appearances are anything that pleases men, or that men put as barrier to those things. All right. And my third and final story, all right, is my parents, right? So my dad had a stroke a couple of years ago, 20-something years ago. All right. And I remember my mom was also working in the bank at the point. She took her leave. She didn't need to take her leave, so she took her accumulated leave for 5 years. When her husband got a stroke, and so the leave accumulated to almost like 6 months, because she had not taken her leave for 5 years. She was working all through. Bam, and she did bam, and 3 of us were in the university at the time. Me and my 2 other siblings were in the university at the time. And so at the end of the day, this was it. So he could not be there for her in all ways. All right. So she now had to collapse her own life. And you know what occurred to me in that day? I said, you know what? When the rubber hits the road, all right, or when the chips are down, like they say, that's when who no go no. All right. So the point remains that if you are somebody who is based on appearances, or what is men is conventional, oh, I married this guy because he's TDH. Okay, TDH can become something else. All right. Or the fine guy can become something, can happen to him or can happen to her. What happens to you then? Will your love go? That's why you can't base your choice from the beginning by appearance. You must be in tandem with God. All right. Man looks on the inward. God looks at the outward, the appearances. That's why you must always make it about the inward.
Thank you, sir.
Only 5 seconds.